Hello, everyone. I understand because I'm the last session and I came from Israel, so I have 10 minutes. So I'm going to spend all of them. So I'm going to speak fast, but I hope you can understand through my thick Israeli accent. So my name is Guy Kashtan, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Rewire, a neobank for migrants with a specific focus on NRIs as well. If you look at the market, it's a huge market. Over 200 million migrants worldwide leave their homes in order to finance themselves and their families. India has recently become the #1 inward remittance player in the world, with over $78 billion coming in every year from Indians outside of India. And the overall market is close to $1 trillion in terms of the size and volume of transactions. But there's a problem with remittance. The way remittance works is that it starts by receiving money from a customer and ends up at sending money to a beneficiary. The first part is about 40% of the cost. The last part is about 30% of the cost of the entire remittance chain. And the middle part is the only thing that the remittance company is actually doing. So the remittance margins are very low and the cost is very high. Now, the solution that we have is, first of all, a simple step: become a neobank for migrants. And the second step is have both the NRIs and the family members open accounts with our bank partners. The way it looks is that an incoming salary of an NRI to our account doesn't cost us or the customer anything. Moving money from our bank partner in India to the family account member within the same bank partner also doesn't cost anything. This means that we can reduce 70% of the cost, create value to the bank, and share that value with the customer as well. In terms of our product, it starts with a simple European current account. There's a connected debit card to that. Sending money is an integral part of that solution, whether it is in Europe or back home to India in this case. And the next step would be adding additional third-party services from the banks that we partner with, whether it is short and long-term loans, savings accounts that we open for the family members and the NRIs themselves, insurances, and additional services that we will bring to the banking platform. Today, we already process over $300 million per year. About $200 million of that is to India, to any bank. This is how remittance is working today. You send money to where the customer is asking. What we want to do is to change that, to move the money to our bank partner, allow a big chunk of the cost that we reduced to be sent back to the family and the NRI himself. Our account, I'll show you a quick video demo. Our account is opened in 2 or 3 simple steps. The customer would first input his phone number. We verify that, of course. We verify the email as well. At a later point, which we will get to in a second, he will take a picture of the passport. He will take a picture of his face. We do a lot of checks in the background in order to verify that the person who signed up is actually the person sending money with us. And the European account will be opened with a local IBAN. For all accounts and purposes, this is a current account. Let me move a bit forward with that. So the first step of the KYC is basically taking a picture of the passport, like I said. Second step is taking a selfie picture. We verified that the face is actually the person who holds the passport. We check against third-party databases as well in terms of anti-money laundering and anti-financing of terrorism. The customer would input his address, which we verify as well with technological means, and the account is open. From this point, loading money, sending money is a matter of seconds in most cases. And this is the start of basically the current account. Last thing I'll show you is my account after I already created it. So I'm logging into my account right now as an Indian customer living in Europe in this case. I can see the current rate if I want to send money at the top right. I can see my current balance. I can either send money or invite my friends, which is most of how we grow. Most of our customers were referred by their family members or friends. I can load money to my account by a bank transfer, a debit credit card, or any type of payment initiation in Europe, which is part of the new regulation there. I can, of course, send money, whether it is within Europe or to my family members. I can view in history any transaction I ever made, whether it is with my connected debit card or with any money transfer that I made. That's it. I have 30 more seconds, so we can move to questions. So we actually started in Israel, where we are from. Today in Israel, we process more than 50% of the money being sent to India ourselves to 3 different populations. There's the caregivers, PhD students. There are hundreds of them in Israel from India. And the last is Jewish Indians who have migrated to Israel. In less than a year ago, we have expanded into Europe. We have raised round A of $12 million. We are now processing money all over Europe as well. The next investment, round B, which is expected to be in Q1 2020, will be for expansion to Middle Eastern countries in the GCC and to the US. So that would be the next step. Sorry? So when we only look at the money transfer part, the competitors are TransferWise, Azimu, WorldRemit, the likes. When we look at the digital banking, the competitors are Number 26, Monzo, etc. When you look at the card, it would actually be Revolut. What we do is take these type of services and tailor them specifically to the NRIs, specifically to the migrants who have significantly other needs than the regular person in Europe. So I would say that the typical competitor is a hybrid solution between digital banking and international transfers. The time? The question was, how do we reduce the time? Okay. It's a good question. Today, the time a transfer takes is almost a commodity. India has one of the most advanced payment systems in the world, the IMPS, the immediate payment system. In theory, all transactions can be processed immediately. In reality, it takes 2 or 3 hours for the money to hit the receiver account when there are no issues with the IMPS system, which also happens from time to time. So to India specifically, we are reducing it to almost real time.
Could you elaborate further on the competitive landscape? So TransferWise offers both the card as well as the online transfers?
Yes. So TransferWise in general, their main targets today are expats and more of that even businesses. If you look at where their product lines are going, they're not going towards creating additional products and services specifically for NRIs and migrants. And like I said before, they have different needs. I'll give you an example of the Philippines, which is also one of our markets. In the Philippines, 70% of the money is actually being received in cash. And TransferWise doesn't support cash at all because the target population is not that. And when we look at insurances, the next step for TransferWise may be a travel insurance, like Revolut does. But the next step for us would be actually a life insurance because for migrants, this is what they're looking for more than travel insurance around the world. So right now, the real competition and acquisition is around money transfer, like you said, TransferWise. The more we move forward, the more it will be significantly differentiated from only money transfer companies. Yes. Sorry, what was the question? Yes. So one of the biggest challenges we basically have today is the need to have a pre-funded account in a receiving country. So the way we operate, we have a bank partner, at least one in India. We keep a pre-funded account here. The second I have money hitting my European account, we collect money in Europe, but we distribute in India. We don't wait for the money to actually get there, which means that we have to have a float over 2 or 3 days, which is a challenge. Okay, thank you, everyone.